Before we kick into Session 4, there was a roll at the very tail end of Session 3 that happened that wasn't on the Session 3 recording, so I'll slip it in here. It's the Humanity roll.
Let's do one more roll before we're done. Let's do a Humanity roll.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Cool.
Okay. Now, I have Cynical, which means that is my price.
Right.
So I have -1 to all Humanity checks. I've never done a Humanity check. How's this go?
Cool. How much Humanity do you have?
A 5.
Okay, so you roll 4 dice against my 5.
Okay.
And go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice. Cool. So that was a Humanity loss roll. So we were seeing if you lost. You rolled high enough, so you did not lose any Humanity.
Good. Right.
So there are Humanity loss rolls and Humanity gain rolls. Because Humanity is empathy, we could also do things where maybe you're trying to comfort someone or you're trying to understand them, where we could use Humanity as like a weird emotional stat too.
I see.
That gets into funky territory that's funky, but we'll see how that goes. But for now, your Humanity is fine. The other thing with Humanity is the higher the Humanity is, the better, because when we're done with this arc at the end of the kicker, you get to pick something. You get to pick a stat to try to get to go up, and you're going to roll your Humanity against the stat.
Gotcha.
And if you beat the stat, then that goes up.
Nice.
With your Humanity. So the higher your Humanity is, the more likely your thing is going to go up. But don't worry about if you go to 0 Humanity, that's just the way the arc goes.
Okay.
So don't sweat it. And that's about it.
Okay.
My name is Judd.
My name is Rich.
And this is a comic strip AP of Sorcerer featuring the tale of Percival Lowder. When we last saw Percival, he had just gotten done binding a new demon, 1 Vanderbilt, which is a building that's under construction. And he didn't know if there was enough building there to really bind it. His Coven had been under attack, and he didn't know who was alive and who was dead. He had no idea. He had just gotten done being up all night, kind of binding this demon and doing a horrific act of Hellraiser-like murder to seal the deal. And you called the Coven together to meet them.
Yep.
Now, it's interesting to me. I read the back of your sheet, of course, and I looked at it pretty carefully, but then something didn't click for me, is that the people in your Coven are people who live in your building, in the Flatiron. So they don't necessarily have their own demons. They kind of help you with yours. Is that a fair estimation?
That is an interesting question. So is Flatiron powerful enough to support multiple sorcerers?
I don't think so. I think a demon is bound to one person.
That's what I thought. So yeah. I imagine that they each have their own demons. I mean, it's a building, so there could be smaller demons within the building, right?
Interesting. Or are they just really new to this? You have a lore of 3, which isn't great, but it isn't bad. But you come from a family of sorcerers. It could be that they just don't have the family background that you do.
Okay. I see Addison as the Coven leader.
I know, I see that too.
So I think that he's got a know-how, at least. Maybe he's lost his demon, or maybe he works at the building but actually has his own thing outside of that.
How about this? How about Addison had a demon and he lost it and no one is really sure what happened?
Oh, yeah. I like that. That's juicy.
Okay. But he is kind of the Coven leader. He is one of the older sorcerers in New York City. But yeah, he's had a rough time. That sound good?
That sounds great.
Cool. So yeah, the game starts and you're in the back room, which is this bar in the back of this building. I think everyone wants it to look like the bar in John Wick, and it doesn't. It's probably a lot seedier than that. A lot seedier than that.
Most things are.
Yeah, definitely. It's about 6:30 in the morning, and Yeah, everybody's up kind of nursing their coffees.
Perfect. Check them over. Everyone, I saw the messages back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
We all had some run-ins last night.
Mm-hmm.
It was a thug. The same guy, Addison. I saw him come out of your place. I wasn't able to do anything, but I followed him. He's been working for that Coven that we were researching, the one at Vanderbilt.
He nods.
What did he do to you?
He turns towards you, and you can see he's got like a... I think he's been pistol whipped pretty thoroughly. Like, I think it's pretty shocking. One of his eyes is swollen shut, and I think his jaw is wired shut.
What did he take from you? He took my journal, the one where I write down a lot of my work.
He pushes his laptop screen towards you, and you can see like the lines of text of like what this is how he's been communicating with everybody.
Okay. Wow, he is messed up.
Yeah, he can't really talk. His jaw is wired shut.
Yeah.
And
okay.
He types out, took my tome from my old demon.
Julio, what about you? What happened to you?
Yeah, I got home and someone went through my apartment, but I mean, it didn't look like they found anything. I mean, I don't have anything bound, and I don't keep a notebook like you guys.
Right. Frederick?
He hadn't gotten to me yet.
Good. Well, he's not getting to anyone else. He's not around anymore. But we do have a threat. That was another Coven. And we need to make sure that doesn't happen again. Listen, Addison. I was able to pull something off this morning. There was enough of that building that I was able to bind it. Vanderbilt. One Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I think everybody like turns and looks at you. Frederick says kind of like there's definite jealousy in his voice. You have 2 demons now? The rest of us don't even have 1.
I know. It wasn't a plan. The Sorcerer was there, the one who hired the guy. And she was preparing it. She had my journal. She probably had yours, Addison. I couldn't let it stand. I felt enough there and I took it. I took it to make sure that none of us would have a run-in with that demon. It's not going to be easy. It's hungry, and it does not like to eat what Flatiron likes to eat. I'm not sure if I can keep up 2 demons.
I think Addison types, like in big letters, "Too late now."
Is there any way to unbind a demon? Is there a way for you guys to take Flatiron from me?
Let's make a roll.
Awesome. Let's do that thing. Is this a lore roll, I assume?
Yes, I mean, this is pretty easy, so I'm just rolling 1d10.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I aced it. That's 2 successes above yours.
You could... So there are a couple different ways you could do this. You could banish it, which would basically get rid of the demon entirely, right?
Okay.
Or you could let it rebel, not feed it, have an angry demon around, and then let someone else try to bind it when it goes to full rebellion.
This sounds dangerous.
That's because it is dangerous.
The alternative is feeding 2 demons.
Right.
Both of whom are pretty old and pretty hungry.
Yep.
I assume that just because the building is new doesn't mean that demon is new.
That is very true.
Okay.
Or it doesn't. I think in this type of thing, we're into this weird architectural sorcery. Old doesn't necessarily mean powerful.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's.
It's very 99% invisible. That's kind of cool.
Cool. Yeah, I mean it's a new building, but it's a new building in a ridiculous place. So, and I bet there's history for that spot.
Oh yeah, there has to be. Here's what we're gonna do. You guys stay close. You need to watch my back. We're gonna get an eye out on this Coven because they've lost one of their members, but it's a Coven. They're gonna want payback, and they threw the first blow, so they know who hit back harder. Flatiron, I'm going to let Flatiron go. But all 3 of you need to be ready, and whoever is the most ready can bind it away from me. So Frederick, you want your shot? Julio, Addison, you guys need to stay strong and you need to be ready. Stay with me, you'll get your demon.
There's a lot of nodding and kind of looking at each other and sizing each other up.
Now, we're a Coven, which means we're a team. Just because one of you is going to get Flatiron doesn't mean the other two are going to be out in the cold much longer. We've got 2 demons. We've got 4 members of this coven. 2 demons will help us find more demons. So don't be stupid. This was an opportunity. What happened last night, we prevailed, and we got to stay on top. I'm glad that all of you are okay, because they're going to need you. We need to find out more about this coven. I've got a picture of the thug and the girl he worked for. Let's find out who they are and who's connected to them.
Frederick says, I've got some leads.
Okay, because we need to find those coven members, and if they've got demons, we're going to take them, and then we're going to take them down. They threw the first blow, but they're going to lose the war.
Nods.
All right.
Nods all around.
Any questions?
Frederick says, who's going to get Flatiron?
Whoever I think can keep it. You prove to me you can keep it right now. Whoever does the best job, obviously they're the most hungry, and they can feed that demon. It's not easy. That's how it is.
So you're going to let it go into rebellion?
Yeah.
All right. When the coven breaks up, Addison texts you and says, I think Frederick's a traitor.
What makes you think that?
He wants his own demon. If the rivals made him promises, he'd do anything.
Let's find these rivals then, and let's keep an eye on Frederick. Thanks, Addison.
Yeah, thumbs up. Should we end there? Start the next game with hunting down the coven?
That sounds good.
Cool.
Hi, this is Jason from the Gauntlet Gaming Community. If you enjoyed this episode of Comic Strip AP, please consider supporting the Gauntlet on Patreon. Our page can be found at patreon.com/gauntlet.